Alright then guys, it is the Burger92 here, and I'm bringing you some COD 4 gameplay. I'm going to be playing some Domination on Crash, and yeah, what's up guys? I'm going to be using the, I'm going to start out use the, my big boy class, which is the RPD, oh wait, no, see I switch it right here, yeah. I switch it out and I put on the RPD. RPD in this game is pretty good. You know, a little more recoil in this game than in Modern Warfare 2. But then about halfway through the game, I kind of get frustrated with the RPD, and then I switch to the good old AK-47 with red dot sight. Perk's going to be Claymore ×2, stopping power, deep impact for both of them, both AK and the RPD. But this is a pretty decent sized video, so this is good because this gives me time to talk about kind of a touchy subject in the Call of Duty community. And no, it is not. I'm not going to be talking about camping. I feel that you really shouldn't have to talk about camping because, you know what, as long as you're not sitting in a corner, I don't consider you camping. If you're playing defensively, I'm fine with that. You know, if I get, you know, outplayed by that, you know what, that's my fault. I should have been more cautious and should have thrown a stun in, whatever. But what I want to talk about was weapons. And mainly, this deals a lot with COD 4. I remember the Call of Duty community back when it was like born. I had a YouTube, but you know, I didn't make videos, obviously. You know, I just casually watched the videos. And you know, I remember how like basically there's so many good things about the Call of Duty community. Like, you know, like we can like push for like patches in games, push for like, you know, to make things less cheap. Sometimes that might not work. Case in point, you know what I'm talking about. But there is one bad thing in particular, and I hate talking about bad things because it just makes me seem like I'm so pessimistic. But guys, you know, I like to talk about. I mean, it's like, unfortunately, I would love to talk about all the good things, like, you know, in Modern Warfare 2 and Call of Duty community and all that good stuff. But I mean, the bad things just kind of overshadow it. But what I wanted to talk about was, like I said, the weapons and how the Call of Duty community can basically shun certain weapons. Like, I understand the M16 is a laser gun, but when people get like so much hate on, you know, people for using the M16 in the video, hell, you couldn't even use you basically could barely use any of the assault rifles. There was a point where you couldn't use them. It was basically scorpion or nothing. And you know, I just don't. I feel like that's, you know, it shouldn't be like that. I feel like, you know, I mean, I understand there's certain weapons that are like super cheap. Case in point, you know, like your one-man army noob tubes, or in this game like Martyrdom, like Last Stand. Those things are cheap, and I get people complaining about them because, you know, they're cheap, and you know they're cheap stuff to use. But I mean, when you're complaining on somebody for using, like, you know, maybe it's like a very accurate gun, you know, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, it just doesn't make sense. You know what? If they want to use a very accurate gun, let them go use an accurate gun. You can use it too. You know, that's how you kind of counter it. And like I said, this is a very touchy subject, and I'm sure people will have different opinions about this. But I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Like, and I kind of see it happening with Modern Warfare 2, where you get people saying, "Oh, look, he's using the ACR." You know, I understand people don't like the ACR because it's so accurate, but guys, I mean, it's got such little damage. You kind of have, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and I haven't seen that many people. You know, you can easily switch out for a SCAR, and people don't complain about that because SCAR is almost a two-hit shot, two-hit kill. I mean, you know, and like things like that. But that's, you know, that's just kind of, well, I just wanted to weigh in on that and just kind of get my opinions on that, and you know, just one of those things. You know, I feel right here. Look at this. I think it was a it's W1200, that had the range of the Spaz right there, which was redonkulous right there. That was ridiculous. He shot me through a wall. But on my screen, I had gone away from him, but on his screen he hadn't. And that's one thing I've been noticing about COD 4 lately is I always have a 4-bar connection most of the time, unless it's like there's a bad thunderstorm where I live. I always have a 4-bar connection. But I'm playing, like, when I play COD 4 and even World at War to an extent, it's just laggy as anything. And I think it's not on my part. I know it's not on my part, because there's no way I'm lagging with a 4-bar. It has to be that the other people are, like, on, like a Sprite, like a 2-bar, and, like, things like that, and, like, a 1-bar. So they're basically in turn making that making me lag because they're lagging. You know what I mean? Because they're like hopping through the screen and everything like that. That's pretty interesting. But by all means, oh, don't yeah, you can disagree with me about like you know how people like don't like the weapons. But you know when it comes down to it, guys, if you don't like the person using that weapon, why don't you use it right back at them? You know, you can use the scorpions and all that. It's just I think you know when you do that, you know, it's just I think yeah, certainly when you use like when you have like gameplay with a scorpion, it's more fun. It's better, more fun gameplay. You know what I mean? Like that gameplay will be more fun than like something with like you know your M16 or something. But the M16, I mean, that's you know what majority of people are going to use. And you know, it just seems like you shouldn't be able, you know, you shouldn't really hate on a weapon. You should just use it against them. That's what I always say with Call of Duty. You know what? You know, let him use that weapon. I'll just use it right back at him and make him 10 times. I'll use it 10 times better. You know, I'll say no. You're using it wrong. You gotta aim right. You know, I'll aim right back at him. And I know that itself right there, you could say, oh well, that makes people use it more. Well, you know what? People are going to use it because you know people in Call of Duty they take advantage of the cheap things, and you know they're going to use them. So why not use them against them? I never, you know what I never do is I let hundreds of people use it before me. You know what I mean? Let hundreds of people use it before you. That way, when you use it, you can say, hey, wait a minute, I was getting tired of people using this against me, so I'm just going to start using it myself. But like I said, this is a very touchy subject, and by all means, if you disagree with me, go ahead and leave in the comment section, and I'll read your point, and I'll say, okay, you know, it's a good point. You make a very good point, and I don't want to get in arguments with anybody, and put it that way. I don't want to argue with anybody. You know, that's the nice, that is a good thing about the Call of Duty communities. There's so much different opinions, and people seem to argue about them, but I say, you know what? Don't argue about it. Just accept people's opinions, and you know, well. When I say accept people's opinions, I don't mean, you know, allow them to use one-man army noob tubes, because that's just not fair, and you just can't, you can't do anything about them. You get noob tubes from across the map, you can't do anything about it, and that just goes into the whole thing of balance. But I'm switching topics here a lot, but you guys get the gist of what I was talking about, and I sped it up right here because this is pretty long gameplay. I should have broke the 40 kill mark, but I don't break the 40 kill mark, unfortunately. I get my second helicopter here. I pick up this AK-47 with the good old ACOG scope, and you know, it's not a bad gun with the ACOG scope. If you're I don't know how that guy didn't kill me right there. I get on my second 10 kill streak here. It's not a bad gun with the ACOG, but it's certainly not the best. I would not recommend it if you're going to rush in this. Which Call of Duty 4 is very, you know, it was good because it was very, you could rush, you know what I mean? You could rush, and you wouldn't have to worry about, well, there would be people spawning behind you, but you won't have to worry about people turning and firing their noob tubes at you, or, well, I guess you would have to worry about Martyrdom and Last Stand, but those different things. But yeah, it's a pretty good gameplay, and I'm playing really defensively. Actually, you know, I'm going to be putting up another COD 4 gameplay, and I'm going to be using the G3. And if you don't know what the G3 is in COD 4, it is basically a smaller version of the FAL, like a Model Warfare 2. It has just as good accuracy. It's a little smaller, not as much damage as the FAL, but the G3 is a very good gun, and I get a pretty good decent score. And in that gameplay, I'll show why you should play with the team most of the time if you're going to play Domination. That's pretty interesting. Oh, and here I sped it up, as you can see. Long gameplay. Oh, I know what I want. One final thing I want to talk about. I want to ask you guys a question. If you're watching up to this point, congratulations. But one final question I want to ask. Would you guys rather see 4 gameplays a week or 3 gameplays a week? I feel like if I'm going to put up 4 gameplays a week, I think it would be too much gameplays, because right now I only have 53 subscribers. And it would be a different thing. Maybe I had 150, but right now I only have 153. And you know, I just want to entertain you guys the most. And when you have 53 subscribers, I think you're in the business of doing that. Well, I think no matter how many subscribers you have, you should be in the business of entertaining your subs. But you know, so let me know if 3 videos or 4 videos. But this end of the video here, and I got 39 kills and 6 deaths. This has been the Burger 92 here. Comment, like it, and subscribe it. Peace out, guys. Peace out.